Okay, y'all. Here we are back in the lab. Round 2. Yeah. Today in the house, Papi Chulo, Charlee. Aye. And special guest, Mr. Nate. Welcome to the lab. Gotta get the heads bobbing. Feel it. Because when family comes together with friends, it's always a win. Oh, man. So what's going on, everybody? Here's a special Kicking It with KJ special request from Mr. Charlee with his buddy Nate over here hanging out. And there's so much to talk about. So many things that I could be intimidated about having two young guys here with me. But, let's give you guys a round of applause. So while the fans are clapping and celebrating you, why don't you guys start by telling the audience a little bit about yourself, and we'll start with Nate since he's our guest. What does that sound like? Sound good, Charlee?
Yeah.
All right. Sir, won't you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself?
So my name is Nathan Lands, and I like the color blue.
You like the color blue?
Yes.
And your parents are okay with you coming on this podcast?
I don't know.
You don't know. Okay.
Yes.
Well, before we go public with it, we better make sure they're okay with it,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So, okay, Charlee, tell the millions and millions of fans, a little bit about yourself.
So my name is Charlee, of course, and my friend here, or best friend, which is our special guest, we're going to talk about experiences between us since we're kind of similar, or very similar.
Okay, let's see. Oh, so we gotta test the soundboard. This was a clap. So if it's bad, that's the sound you get. Okay, good deal. So, Charlee moved here from California, and he had to learn quick, because he has me as stepdad, and then he has his dad in California. But he learned to feel comfortable calling me dad around you because you had a stepdad who you called dad. And I think that's one of the things you guys have in common, right? And there's probably lots of stepdads just like me out there, and I don't know if if you think that's an easy thing or a hard thing, but it can be a challenging thing, right? And it's one of those weird dynamics where, you can be nervous, right? So why don't you guys talk a little bit about what it's like to have stepdads and some of the challenges or anxieties or the things that made you nervous about it, if it did at all. Or you can talk about all the positives about it.
Would you like to go first, Nathan, or would you like me to go first? I guess I can go first.
Go ahead, dude.
So I think it's nice to have a stepdad because my stepdad treats me really nicely.
Yeah?
Yeah. He buys me stuff, and then he takes care of my whole entire family.
Yeah? So he treats you like you're his own son for real?
Yep. Yeah,
that's really, really important. And did you have any stepbrothers or stepsisters? Or were you the one child at first?
I was the one child at first.
Okay. That's where it's a little different for Charlee, huh? Because this dude's got brothers and sisters like internationally known.
Yeah.
So talk about that, Charlee.
So when my mom met you and then stuff got real, I was kind of nervous at first.
When it got real.
Yeah.
I like it. Why were you nervous?
It's just because it was kind of new to me. I wasn't experienced with this before.
Mm-hmm.
But then once I've grown, let's say, stick to having a good stepdad,
mm-hmm.
I've grown more comfortable and been calling you dad.
Okay, so what would you guys say it took? Because you said he buys me stuff, he treats me like his real son, right? But sometimes, us stepdads, we can get nervous when it's time to lay down the law, when it's time to discipline, because it's easy, right? Think about Charlie. Like Charlie, I always treated him like my own, and it wasn't always ice cream and popsicles,
Including me
right?
into like everything.
I include him in everything to include discipline, right? And sometimes Charlie gives me that crooked eye, but once I saw that he does that to everybody, then it was like, okay, it's not a big deal. But what do you think was the most important parts of your transition? It didn't just happen like, oh, here, someone buys you one thing one time. It took time, right? And would you say it was consistency? Like they always, for the most part?
So, well, for me, I was like 6 in the beginning when my mom and dad met. So it started like with a dating site. I picked my dad, and well, he started coming over to our house, and something happened. We disconnected for a while, and we came back together. And then, really, we just he would come over to our house, visit us. He would talk with my mom. He would take care of us. He would just plainly take care of us. I actually don't have much.
He was just good to you, right? And
Yeah.
your mom. I can understand why, because remember, I'm friends with your grandpa, right? Mr. Matterang,
Yes.
right? Very brilliant guy, very awesome guy, right? But do we really want to talk about this, or do we want to talk about stuff like Halloween is coming up? Halloween.
I mean, Halloween could be fun.
Well, think about Halloween, Thanksgiving, and Christmas, which is family stuff, but it's more exciting for kids. So what are you thinking? What's on your guys' mind about the holidays?
So I don't have much to actually think about Halloween, because all of this Corona and COVID, same thing.
Okay.
All of it just I was ready for a nice year, and then COVID just broke everything up. So
Yeah, it threw a big curveball for folks, but you got to stay home. You got to be with your family more.
Yeah.
So there's goods to it, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Pros
So,
and cons.
huh?
There's just like pros and cons.
There's pros and cons. So let's sum of the cons, would you say?
Cons, probably not getting like the first week. A lot of people probably didn't go out as much because it just came like randomly. And then another con is probably everybody's going shopping right now. And then they're like, it's just crazy.
Yeah, you got to be socially distant and wear the mask. And like even Jesse, when he went to walk to, when he wanted to walk to In-N-Out Burger, he walked there, I think about to the gate. And then he came back. He's like, I forgot my mask. I'm like, come on, dude. We're like, how many months into COVID now? 7 or 8, something like that, right?
Year's
Okay.
coming to an end.
So which is the best season? Which is the best holiday? Halloween, Thanksgiving, or Christmas? If you had to pick.
If I had to pick, just in general, or
Yeah.
for just COVID,
No, just in life in general,
just
right?
in general, Christmas.
Christmas. What about you, Charlie?
I'd probably say Thanksgiving because it's like a big family basically just meets up, everybody eats
Yeah.
and spend time together and have fun. So that's why I would probably say Thanksgiving is my favorite.
Yeah, and it's tough, right? So like, for Charlie, just like his brothers and sisters, at least the younger ones, they get ripped in like way all these different directions. It's not easy. You know what I mean? Because it'll be like time with dad or time with mom or time with
Yeah, it's like a difficult choice.
yeah, it's just shuffling all around and it sucks. It's okay. You can I say it's okay to say it sucks because it's like you're now in this position to where you're like, if you pick one, you worry about if the one over here feels bad. You know what I mean? And all stepdad is always last. Not really.
Oh.
No, just joking. Charlie does really good at making sure I don't feel that way. So Christmas, okay. So did you write out a Christmas list? You already know what you guys want?
Well, to be honest, I don't write out a Christmas list.
What?
I tell my parents what I like throughout the year, and they get me stuff based on that.
Okay. So what's at the top? What's at the top that has not been
So my biological father bought me a laptop, and then my stepdad, or my dad, bought me a iPad, and then he also bought me a case. So it's kind of like a laptop iPad now. And so my iPad has restrictions when it comes to things like Google Docs and Google Slides when I'm doing homework.
Yeah.
So I need like a laptop to be able to do better stuff. So I think like a nice laptop would be at the top of my list right now.
Okay, nice lap. Me too. I bought a Surface Pro, and I don't think it's capable of doing what I needed to do for all this. It likes to freeze up on me, you know. Okay, Charlie, what about you?
I don't really want an electronic, but it'll probably help like when I'm doing schoolwork. But I don't. But it's kind of too expensive, so I'd probably just get clothes or just spend time with the family mostly.
Yeah. Or like a PS5 or no.
So my cousin says like, if you buy, no, I think it was one of my friends. My friends say if you buy a, like, let's say you bought a PS4 when they just came out, they suck, and then later there's more like development and they're better. So my friend
say wait.
Yeah, wait to get the new stuff.
Okay.
I think that like if you get a newer console, then it's probably gonna be more expensive, and then like once you wait, it's probably gonna get cheaper unless it's just gonna stay the same.
Unless it gets bigger.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not a PlayStation guy. I'm an Xbox guy.
I heard that they're gonna have like Xbox XX or something, and then it's gonna look like a tower.
Yeah, they usually every time PlayStation comes out with something, Xbox comes out with something, and then the only really honestly, they're both really good. I used to have both all the time, mostly because like PlayStation has God of War, and Xbox doesn't. But I haven't had a PlayStation in so long. I'm so far behind on those games. Each operating system has their own special games. And so that's the downfall is, and plus he'll tell you, Mom is so strict.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we don't get to have any kind of fun.
Well, I don't play any games, like any electronics. I don't have any consoles. I have like a Wii.
Oh, Wii is cool. So when Wii first came out, I loved Wii.
I don't use it anymore though. So it's been like 2 years since I haven't used it.
Did you have like the Wii Sports on it, like with the bowling and the tennis?
Yeah,
and
it doesn't work anymore. I'm sad.
Ooh, sad.
That was fun.
Yeah, that was good. Like that, they don't even make that anymore, do they?
I don't think so.
And
Sure, they just have
Nintendo,
like Nintendo Switches now.
yeah, and I'm not into that. But the Wii I thought was cool, but I think it just didn't sell very well. Because right after the Wii was popular because you could interact and move and kind of like exercise. And I mean, who wants to exercise when you're playing video games?
Yeah, some people can.
Yeah,
or they want to.
I think it would
Yeah.
be nice to
But-
exercise.
You think so?
Yeah.
Do you think? Did you hear that?
The ghost.
I heard that for real.
Yeah, I heard that.
That's-
Okay, that's the standard podcast.
Did you hear that?
Yeah, I heard that.
That is spooky.
Now the lights are gonna turn off.
Oh wow.
Does the lights turn off?
Well, if
end the
they
podcast.
do, it's
spooky.
yeah.
Spooky month.
So did you get to hear our Halloween special we did?
No.
No. Do you have YouTube?
Yes, but I don't go on YouTube.
That's okay. Well, maybe Charlie will share it with you. Today we sat together one night, and we did a recording of. We each wrote Halloween stories,
Mine was kind of.
and did some family time. Yours was good. It was all good.
Yeah.
All of it was good. Like,
I'd
what's-
say yours was the most scariest.
well, but what was really the idea for us, right? What was the idea for us mostly
Probably have fun. Just spend time together.
as a family, right? Did you hear that?
Yeah, I keep hearing this.
It's Grandma.
Spooky.
Speaking of scary.
What about the sounds from earlier? That's the thing.
I don't know. Maybe that was grandma sneaking around. I don't know. That was kind of creepy though. I don't know. So what do you think about this podcasting stuff? Look, Nathan looks a little like, I don't know if he's nervous, if he's excited.
Poker face.
Poker face. See, now you're smiling. So you want to get comfortable when you do this, right?
Yeah.
And that's the big thing is even I struggle a little bit to get comfortable. Charlie seems to be a very like natural at it. Like this may be just his future radio broadcaster, you know?
In the past, I think I used to like just random live streams or just little videos. Like when I used to play PS4. So I just did that. So I'm guessing that's probably why.
Yeah, it's like really natural.
When I was a little boy, I would grab my grandma's phone. She had an old phone at the time. It was like white, small Samsung. And I would take like little videos of me building blocks. And I would always be like, hey guys, I'm going to build some blocks today.
Okay, so in your best radio voice, let's hear it. Should we have a little quick contest? Best radio voice? Like
they're saying something?
Yeah, like let's do a safety message. Let's do a safety message for Halloween, right? Because this is the year that in Halloween, it's really scary if you don't wear a mask. Where's your mask?
Where's your hand sanitizer?
Oh, it's okay. We got to be careful. Someone might say we're being irresponsible. But normally in Halloween, you put a mask on.
Well, for some...
So why
costume.
not wear a mask? Then it's really scary, right? So do you want to do a safety message, or do you just want like no, you're nervous about it? Really? Well, what do you guys want to do? You guys wanted to do this.
Like a radio?
I don't know.
I'm like nervous. I don't know why. I can perform and like I lion dance and do forms.
Yeah.
With my kung fu in like front of maybe 200, 300 people.
Yeah.
And I don't get that scared, but I've done it for a couple of years now. But this
is making you nervous.
I'm like sweating so much right now.
Really? Why?
I don't know.
Man, you're Just Do It, Nate.
You
Big
can do
Nate
it.
With Poppy Chulo Charlie, and you're kicking it with KJ. What's there to be nervous about? Besides the strange noises we were hearing.
Oh, that's true. Spooky month.
You know, and I've been watching a lot of scary stuff. Right? So, not that you guys should, because you're not old enough yet. You know, because you guys are watching things like Mulan,
Coco Melon.
Well, London is the one that's
right, but because you don't watch that scary stuff, you're not old enough. Wink, wink. You're watching Coco Melon, right? Mickey
SpongeBob.
PJ Masks.
So what's the best cartoon out there for your age group right now? I'm trying to think. I think when I was your age, it was Transformers for me.
Since I'm 11, I've been watching The Simpsons for some reason.
The Simpsons, okay. Definitely age appropriate.
Well, some.
Some, okay. What about you?
Some of the episodes.
So, based on what my sister's watching, because I don't really watch anything, but based on what she watches, so she usually watches PBS.
Oh, that's very good. What's PBS stand for?
I do not know.
It's a public broadcasting system.
Public broadcast.
No, public broadcasting system.
I mean, that's a good abbreviation.
PBS is very awesome. And it focuses on a lot of learning, a lot of education, a lot of community. It's really cool. The PBS here will talk about the history of Las Vegas, like the Springs Preserve, and that was the first source of water. And the inhabitants who used to live here.
My teachers used to assign me assignments. Like, before, I think it was when I was in COVID, I was still a little bit in 5th grade.
Mm-hmm.
So,
sorry.
My teacher would make me watch, like, these random, what's it called? I don't remember. But they would just, like, make us watch, documentaries on PBS.
I thought you were going to say Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Bill Nye, right? So listen, you guys are doing school from home, right?
Yeah.
That is, I think it's pretty cool, but I also worry about the inability to get out there and see your friends and get out of the house. And so what are the pros and cons? What are the pros? Let's focus on the cons first. So two negatives about having to do homeschooling during COVID. And then we'll shift to two positives because we want to end on a positive note with the homeschooling, right? So what do you think? Two negatives.
I think I already have one.
All right, go ahead.
Well, since you're going to need a computer or like a tablet or electronic, probably when something shuts down or like, let's say Wi-Fi or network, then it shuts down and then you get disconnected.
That's happened a few times, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, we got disconnected. Okay, so internet connectivity, when it goes down, is a negative, which is a bummer. What about you?
So I say on the spending money, people have to go buy desks for their children, buy computers, and they have to buy like special things. Like they have to still buy school materials as well.
So they're kind of out of pocket expenses.
Yeah.
Right? Like I've heard some people have turned their garages into little mini classrooms or the dining. My office is the dining room table. If you saw back there, right? That's my office. And there's Charlie bumping his head on the microphone, if anybody's wondering what that was.
Bullyism.
Okay, another negative. Or do we want to just do one negative?
I think 2 is fine.
Two?
I think
Okay.
two,
Okay,
but-
you got another one?
I don't have one yet, but
Really?
yeah, like probably having to wake up on your own. Well, when there wasn't like a homeschool or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Like, if your parents or didn't wake you up, then you're fine with that. But if your parents didn't wake, you could play the sound again. My brain
Here.
just.
The best part is you get all the redos you want. I thought you were going to say that we don't get a break from our parents, because sometimes when you go to school, you kind of get a break of, your parents always on your case and did you do this? Did you do that? And I know as a parent I want a break from my kids.
Well, I think that's fine. Your parents being all up in your business about school, I think that's fine. I think that's why I probably have A's and B's.
Well, I don't mean that. I mean, it's just like sometimes it's nice to just get away and see your friends without your parents over your shoulder, like
Watching your Zoom meeting in the back.
why aren't you just staring at the screen?
I think I have another negative. Like
Another negative?
probably that some students have to print out their homework or go to the school to get their homework. So that's sometimes kind of like extra work or stuff that you have to do just to get it.
I think one more con would be like some people can cheat.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Some might say that's a pro,
Yeah, some.
but you say it's a con, which tells me that you academically want to earn your grade
Yes.
and be challenged.
Yes. So
I like that.
because Donnie Hayden, the school me and Charlie used to go to, did not challenge me at all. I knew all this stuff.
No, yeah, that's unfortunate. Okay, so let's switch to the positives then.
Positives is, well, some students have shorter hours because in my school, I think I used to have like 8 hours of school or like more, but now I only have 3.
That's weird.
So then after school, you get to spend time with your parents or just do your homework and then spend time with them.
But what do you mostly do, Charlie?
Go back to bed.
So any parents out there, I don't know if you have this situation, but do you have kids that are always wearing their headphones and looking at YouTube or their phones like I do? That is definitely not their fault. That is a parenting fault. And shame on me. I deserve a... But all our kids get good grades, So... Okay, pro, right? You get to spend more time at the house, shorter hours, right, with the family. What do you think, Nathan?
This is bad. I don't have any pros.
You have no pros? So let's do a shout out then, right? Let's do a shout out to the teachers and thank them for what they do, for having to adjust, to be patient and innovative, because it's not fair to bash the educators because they've had to adjust. They miss you, and no doubt they probably have pros and cons to it as well. But I bet you their biggest con is that they miss seeing you guys.
My teacher is always complaining. How come you guys don't put your cameras on? I want to go back. I want everyone to go back to school.
Zoom, I have to turn on my camera, but like just muted the whole time.
Yeah, I think your teachers miss you guys. And
I just want to see your faces.
yeah, well, they chose to do this because they wanted to influence and make sure the future generations were educated.
My teachers say they don't like teaching icons.
Nah, I wouldn't either. You know what I mean? But it's definitely the world we live in right now. So to show that we can do this, it'll be very interesting to see what they decide. You know what I mean? Especially if, let's say, money always impacted schools, right? A lack of funding. What if they could keep the funding the same and find a way to save money and use it to better things by finding ways to balance homeschooling from, you know what I mean? Like maybe you went to school like...
Maybe some days you have to go, and then you should bring like a class.
Like let's
box.
say you went to school physically on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, but Tuesday and Thursday you stayed home and focused on work. I don't know. I mean, I'm just.
I like that idea.
Yeah, that would be good for me. I go to Kung Fu every Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday.
Right. Because I think, like what I told our kids was one of the biggest lessons you are going to learn during this that's not part of your academics at school is, which kind of it's implied, but learning how to self-manage, you know what I mean? Rack and stack your priorities and be responsible, right? Wake up on time, brush your teeth, make your bed, eat, and nothing but goodness.
I don't eat in the morning.
I skip the eating part.
You do? Well,
wake up, brush teeth, go. Yeah, computer.
All right. So before we get ready to exit out of here, right? Because you've done so awesome. Can you believe it's almost 30 minutes?
What?
You guys have been on here for 30 minutes almost.
That's surprising.
Can you believe that?
No.
You know what I mean?
Also, the thing that I'm pretty sure, didn't you say that, like that headphone thing? I say that the parents are doing good at raising the child.
Yeah.
So, like teaching them what to do, but it's like kind of the same thing as raising, but like raising them to go on their advices, but then still care about their like parents.
Right.
Like is good.
That's good. Well, I'm lucky to have Charlie. I love this guy. You know what I mean? And the best part is that I think he feels loved all the way around from everybody. And there's some kids out there who don't have that. And because this is a positive show, an honest show, and we have a special guest before we exit out, what's your positive message for everybody out there?
So, number 1, stay safe, wear your mask. Please don't please don't send bad vibes into the air.
Don't send bad vibes into the air. Because right now in our world, we need love.
Yes.
I got a friend who does a podcast, and I just the way he says it, his name is Orest, and he says, people you love. Like, he has this voice that's so cool. Like, I think it's so hip. Like, I could just repeat it. Maybe I should download it and just back to back to back to back to back to back. I may have to consider that. I might have to ask him for permission to do that. How about you, Charlie? What's your positive message for everybody?
I'd probably say that people love you, including your parents, if they sometimes probably just even though if they yell at you, they still love you.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm basically saying everybody loves you.
So I'm going to tell you guys a secret. When parents discipline their kids, it usually, for me, it eats me up. I feel bad, and And Charlie will tell you, I'm a pretty easy parent, huh?
Yeah.
Like, how often do I say no?
Not
Like,
often.
like rarely, right? Which is a bad part too, because if you don't learn to say no to your kids and they don't get used to hearing no.
So, well, for me, my dad's always quick to having my mom decide if he really doesn't like it. But if it's just me and him, he'll definitely say no.
He'll definitely say no.
Yeah, but with my sister, that's a completely different story.
So he's a no guy with you and yes with your sister.
Yes.
Okay.
But he does say yes.
Okay.
He will
Now you're gonna hope your parents say, yeah, we don't want to hear this.
yeah, he's gonna tell me that's not true.
Yeah.
That he never says no, never says yes to me. He's
Okay. Okay. How about you, Charlie?
Well,
I usually get Charlie in trouble because I'll just say yes,
it's
even
like,
when his mom might say no. Remember when you just got the soda the other day?
Yeah.
What happened?
she said,
You came out with the squirt
I was,
and you're like, hey, can I have this? I was like, yeah. And then you just looked for mom to
I
say,
was like, what am I supposed to do?
you're supposed to
okay.
just go with it.
But then now I started to ask you, and then I'm like, okay.
Yeah, if I say yes, then who's in trouble if mom says that's not what she wanted?
You?
Me, right? Because I'm a parent too. So to me, I told Charlie, I said, if I say yes, you don't need to ask mom. Just go get it. And then if she's upset about it, then she can come yell at me. And Charlie was like this. Oh, yeah, that's right. Well, I think it's time for us to get ready to call it the day. What do you think?
Yeah.
Right? This was a good warm up. So next time, maybe you guys will come with some content, right? Some subjects to talk about.
Yes.
Maybe you come with some hard questions for me.
Ooh,
And I'll try to answer them, right?
I think I've.
But at the end of the day, it was really awesome having you guys, right? And at the end of the day, oh, what's this? I see y'all bobbing your head.
Oh, ad.
What the heck? Anyways, we just wanted to say that it's very nice of you guys to join us. Disregard that little interruption. But we have Papi Chulo Charlie and Mr. Nate in the house joining us. This is KJ with a special premiere of our special guest, special requests, KJ Studio.